Thank you. Let's switch gears now and talk about the crisis rocking the APC. The center appears not to hold any longer for the ruling All Progressives Congress APC as its national chairman Adams Oshimhole faces a stiff opposition within its own house. An Abuja High Court today granted an order of interim injunction stopping Mr. Adams Oshimhole from parading himself as the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress. Ruling on an application brought before it, the court by Comrade Mustafa Salihu and 5 others, Justice Dalami Senchi, granted the order on the ground that the plaintiffs have been able to show that Comrade Adams Oshimhole was suspended by Esaka West Ward 10, his own word, in Edo State. According to Justice Senchi, political parties must be bound by their own constitution. He notes that having been suspended by his word, Comrade Oshiomhole is restrained from functioning as a party's national chairman pending the hearing and the determination of the substantive suit. Hearing has now been fixed for April the 7th and 8th in 2020. Well, the atmosphere in Benin City, in Edo State, the home state of APC National Chairman Adams Oshimhole, is that of rejoicing from its opposition led by Governor Godwin Obaseki. The All Progressives Congress in Edo says that they has received the information and the news with mixed feelings over the Abuja High Court position and asked the party's national chairman to step aside from the office.
Happy this morning that our position has been vindicated by a competent court of law. This is not a time to rejoice. For us, it is a very sad commentary. Not only because we helped to put that man in office, but because we also have a responsibility to ensure that whatever he does rubs off on the rest of us.
Let's break this down and see what it means. Wait for a moment. What does this mean? The ruling party, perhaps, what you will call the #1 political party in Nigeria, because the party that controls the presidency, controls the majority of the National Assembly, has majority of states across the country controlled by the party, has its own national chairman that has been suspended by the court, at least for now, until the hearing of that suit. So what does this mean for our politics, our democracy, and internal politics? Let's get talking, everyone, on these issues. I have the man who took this case to court, Mr. Mustafa Salihu, the APC Deputy National Chairman Northeast, and Mr. Klatus Obun, an APC chieftain, a former lawmaker. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on tonight. Let me begin with you, Mr. Salihu. You took this case to court. The same position was being sought in Edo State, but now in Abuja is being granted. What could be so bad to the extent that your colleague, your leader, the national chairman, you took him to court to remove him? Why?
Actually, Sean, as you said earlier, this matter is in court, and we just got interim order now restraining the chairman to parade himself as chairman, and orders we sought for. There's a limit to what I will say on the matter, because I don't want to be found subject to the court. But what I think I can say is we are looking at the serious harm that can result from faulting our own constitution. As a political party, all of us took oath of office as the leaders of this party to uphold the constitution. It's not by might or power that we are here and we are superintending over the affairs of this party. It's the constitution that gives us the power and mandate this power to us, so much so that people now obey us and see us as leaders. But once we now begin to disrespect that constitution, variably or invariably, we are diminishing our own power. And in the end, the result will be anarchy. What transpired between the chairman and his state, I don't know. But it's in the constitution of this country, of the party. If you check Article 21, that if there's any a problem or any grievance against a member or an executive member of the party, a petition should be written to any executive position, any executive organ. And here they say executive organ. That means any working committee is not allowed to receive or work on the petition, neither a working committee, state local government committee or the state. But all these levels, they have executive committees, which is wider. And I want to believe the framers of this constitution had in mind to do away with biases. If you say like 5, 6, 10 people will come and sit, they may be biased. That's the executive committee, which is large. Now, executive committee of the ward, somebody wrote a petition to them, and they now see his actions in Benin, that is anti-party activities causing disharmony and what have you, all the charges they level, they now suspend him from there. And that decision was forwarded to local government, and the local government, as in line with the Article 21, still affirmed the position. And now forwarded to state, and state affirmed the position article in respect in the tandem with the Article 21. It was now forwarded to the National Secretariat. Where I have problem is that the National Secretariat works, there's head of secretariat, which is the National Secretary, and there is the executive, head of the executive, which is the National Chairman. When this matter comes, and this is a matter that affecting you as a chairman, I felt he was not supposed to now sit and chair the meeting that will look into this petition. Because as a working committee, we don't even have the right to even consider that petition. What we need to do is to look at the petition and forward it to NEC. Then he sat on the matter as a chairman and also dismissed the petition, that the petition has no merit. What happened to the doctrine of nemo juris in Kasaswa? You cannot be a judge in your own matter. There is so much locus classicus, that's cases that shows that you are not supposed to sit on your own matter. Once the matter affects you, you have to recuse yourself, allow other person to sit on that matter and decide whether you are guilty.
All right. Mr. Saliu, just in a moment, let's get Mr. Obon, who is perhaps having a different view on this matter. Mr. Obon, how does this come to you, hearing that your national chairman is now going to be stepping aside for now on the ends of affairs of the party?
Well, let me begin this program by saying that what we are seeing here, APC is demonstrating that it is truly a democratic and democratized party. Before today, a national chairman of a party, whether it was Audu Ogbe, whether it was the secretary Nwodo, Okwesileze Nwodo, they were removed with a gun on the head over pounded yam. That the APC is even going through the court shows that we are opening the democratic space. And this is, Nigerians must know this. What we are seeing here is a storm in a teacup. Like he has said, he's quoting the Constitution copiously. Article 9 deals with the issue of discipline. Article 21 deals with the issue and procedure for disciplinary action. As the substance of the matter has not been dealt with, and because it is an interim injunction, an interlocutory injunction, rather than an interim injunction, what that means is that the matter must be exhausted before the injunction is vacated or vacated, unless he goes to court now to vacate that interlocutory order. Until that happens, I can assure you that the party is at peace. Comrade Oshimhole will not and is not ruffled at all by what is happening, and the APC will still be one. The reason being that these actions are only to call to order and attention to the fact that being democratic, we must open the space and be able to hear the other side. So having said that, let me say that, like you rightly put the question, did it get to the point where we have to now get to court and start taking arms in court? Yes, it is. We have to ventilate the courts and ventilate the political space by seeking legal redress. So the legality of politics and politics of legalism are at play as we talk today. And that is about interest and aggregation of interest, identification of tendencies as they exist in APC today. So in trying to find its feet, APC must go through these rudiments and these bedpangs. It is the teething problem of a party that came together, a mixed party, a conquer mixture of different tendencies and ideological positionings. APC, AMPP, ACN, New PDP, all came together. To settle will definitely is not a matter for 8 years.
Mr. Auburn, apologies if I may butt in quickly. Sorry, apologies to butt in into what you're saying. But a big question here is, although we understand now that the acting national secretary of the party, Mr. Victor Gaydom, has explained that the party is law-abiding and it will abide by the order of the court. He adds that the National Working Committee of the party will meet soon to deliberate on the challenges facing the party. What does this mean? Because this the man beside you sits at the top hierarchy of the party at those meetings, Mr. Salihu. He sits there and it does look like he's aggrieved, and so some of the things that other people are saying within the leadership of the party, they are aggrieved about Mr. Oshiomhole. What does this say about the person and the leadership style of Mr. Oshiomhole?
Now, without speaking as his spokesperson, he has his press team, he has his press secretary, he has his, the National Publicity Secretary is also there, and he has his personal coterie of staff. But I can speak as a party officer. I have been state chairman. I have attended NEC meetings, and I know how party functions at the highest level in this country. And therefore, I should speak audaciously and authoritatively on the procedures and what is happening today. Like I have insisted, and the point I'm making is clear, that the tendencies today are aggregating for politics and getting into the legality of politics and the politics of legalism. What I'm saying by that is simply that the leadership style of Oshiomhole, coming from the combative labor background, clearly puts him in a position in which he will be perceived as being antagonistic and belligerent. And you will need a lot of winning process, such as him, are needed to sanitize a political process such as our own. To tolerate him is a hallmark of a democrat, because you must have the good, the bad, and the ugly. The Oshiomhole style is the win-win situation. And coming, like I said, from the background he came from, what the other politicians and political class must understand in him is that he should be endured, tolerated, and coached along the road. If you are with him most of the time, he keeps telling you, see, I'm not used to this your method, of this your bureaucracy. He keeps saying that. He admits it. And those who are close to him know that he has never pretended that he has patience, that he has learned the ropes of bureaucracy, because he has been a combatant, fighting military administrations, fighting sitting presidents like Obasanjo, brutish as he is. And he came out clean as an NLC president. If he was a corrupted person, I'm very sure that people like Obasanjo will never have spared him. He has never spared anybody who has crossed his path. And today, you can see an Adam sitting over a party, won all the elections in 2019, most of the elections, still retained some seats, got back there. We lost some, won some, and the battle is on. So I do think that his style has to be endured and tolerated over time. Let it ferment. If the process ferments, definitely we are going to get it right. And I think this process will take us to a better standing.
Just a moment. Party. Yeah, just a moment. We'll look deeper into who are the real backers of the opposition against Mr. Oshiomhole in the APC and in the top hierarchy of the party. How long will he be out for, and what is the consequence of what is happening? Will he be out at the end of the day? We'll find out when we come back from this break, everyone. Join us again. It's no longer news. A lot of people want Mr. Oshiomhole out of as the chairman of the APC. Well, some others say, well, those calling for his sack is just a storm in a teacup. But it does look like those who are fighting Mr. Oshiomhole are not giving into any mistake, and perhaps they have their way in court today. So tonight we've been talking to Mr. Cletus Obun, who is the chieftain of the APC, a former lawmaker, and probably one we would describe as a close ally to Mr. Oshiomhole. And also we have Mr. Mustafa Salihu, the deputy national chairman of the APC Northeast. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming. Let me come to you quickly, Mr. Salihu. As it stands right now, it does look like Mr. Victor Gaydom, who is the acting national secretary, will be the acting chairman pending when this case is resolved. But you want Mr. Oshiomhole out, and you have not hidden that agenda. Who is backing you? Are you being supported by any governor?
Sheung, you know, the last time I was here, I told you that party is not run on the screens of television, neither is it run on the pages of newspaper. I'm a party administrator. I am among the top echelon of APC. Whenever you see me here, I'm just here to make clear some facts, so much so that there won't be confusion or misinformation to the public. I don't have anything personal against the chairman. He is a unionist like myself. I'm a unionist too. I was a unionist too. And I understand the way he operates and the way he thinks. But the reason why you see me trying to implement what is happening is because I don't want us to go against the constitution of the party. Because the repercussion of this is going to be, we'll be nominating candidates when the court will now be upturning our nomination due to the illegality of occupation of office by the chairman. All we are saying is that the chairman has to step aside, let the suspension and the petition against him by the state be considered by the National Executive Committee. But he cannot, for example, you are having problem with your state, and you now sit as a chairman and now constitute a committee to go and decide on what happens in that state. Definitely there won't be fair hearing.
Mr. Saliu, apologies. I have some 2-3 quick questions which I'd like you to answer in quick succession.
Okay.
The first one is that you don't like Mr. Oshimhole's style of leadership. Yes or no?
Yeah, I don't appreciate, I don't like the way he leads because, as I said earlier here, it was too autocratic, undemocratic, and to some extent, I would even say narcissistic.
Have you confronted him about your grievance, about the way he handles things?
Yeah, severally. We sat severally at the meeting, privately. I tried to put this information across. And because he met me as a party administrator, I'm a second-timer here. Even though I finished Babachir's tenure, I'm a second-timer in party administration. I should know better. And other people around him too that he met as working committee before now that worked with Oyegun. And some people that were even 3-timers that were even during the interim were there. Some were administrators during the SCN, some AMPP and what have you. Most of us come to sit with him and advise him. But he just bring like 2 or 3 people around him who most of them are functionally illiterate. They are the ones that are misleading him because they now make him to believe that this is how
another quick question.
The truth is that, let me finish this. The truth is that people cannot give you what they don't have. If you now take somebody who is functionally illiterate to be advising you, you are bound to make such mistakes and gather enemies all over the place.
Another quick question I want to ask you is that you want Oshiomhole out, court or no court. You just don't want him as a national chairman. Is that your stand right now?
This is not my stand. My stand is that we have constitution of the party, that we, as the top echelon of the party, the National Working Committee of the party, the highest leader, elected leaders of the party, should uphold that constitution. And that is... If you are being suspended, you have to step aside and you'll be investigated. And if this investigation posits that you remain suspended, you now will remain suspended. If
I'm curious, though,
that you should be called back, he'll be called back.
I'm curious, though, that is it possible for the lowest cadre of the party, organ of the party, the ward, can suspend a national chairman, an elected official of the party? Because what I understand from your constitution is that the only organ or the 2 organs that have the power to do that, to elect or to remove, the NEC and the National Convention.
It's not so. We are talking about membership here, Sheung. You know, for example, now you are here as an anchor. Maybe you are a deputy director by rank in channels. For example, if you cease to be a staff of channel, that the deputy directorship also goes with it. So if you are talking about membership here, the wards is the only place you join the party from. You cannot join from the state, you cannot join from the local government, you have to join from the ward. So if you now did something wrong or an anti-party activity from that ward, and that will feel necessary to suspend you as a member of the party, they are not suspending Oshimhole as a chairman of the party. They are not suspending as a member of the party, and which now follows Once you are suspended as a member of the party, you cannot also pretend
All right.
over the affairs of the party as a chairman.
Let's speak to Mr. Albon. Just a moment. Let's speak with Mr. Albon. Mr. Albon, what do you think is the way out for Mr. Oshiomhole? Do you see him coming back as a chairman of the APC?
Why not? I'm not sure that my friend Salihu, comrade, is talking about Oshiomhole going. He is only saying the constitutionality of the issue should be adhered to. But like you rightly pointed out, and which is what is obfuscating here, the confusion is creating is that you cannot come from a lower organ. For instance, the national chairman of the party cannot suspend a ward chairman or member. Same way that an elected officer at the level of a working committee, board of trustee, for example, cannot be suspended by sheer membership because that disciplinary power has been taken away under Article 9 and 21 of the party constitution. So that is why the substantive case will be very interesting. I do think, like he said, two things are standing out which he has identified, that the style is exclusivist. Some people have hijacked the chairman. And the second grievance he has, is, and which is why the remote cause, is that moving towards the election in Edo State and the chairman and his home state having crisis, which is why you are seeing the jubilation, people are now feeling that if he presides and superintends, but what they don't understand is that the neck of the party and the NWC is so strong that the chairman has little powers to even influence what happens in his state.
All right.
Coming to that.
Yeah,
so anybody
because
trying to say that he's going to anticipate him is making a huge error.
Let's
return as chairman.
Let's close the program now. Mr. Albon, with the benefit of your inside knowledge of the APC, do you think that some of the governors are behind all of this?
Yes. For instance, the governor of Edo State wants to return, and he feels that his primaries is not safe if Adams presides over the National Executive Committee of the party. So that is one angle of it. There are others who feel that they were hot in the process of getting to the last election. So they want to take their pound of flesh. But what they don't understand, that we are going to get into a zero-sum game in which there will be no winner. We are going to have a lose-lose situation if everybody gets too strong and gets so bad about it.
We need to go now. Yeah, we need to go now. Just 10 seconds, Mr. Salihu. 10 seconds, your final word. 10 seconds, please.
Yeah, my final word is that I'm advising Oshimhole to see reason and adhere to this court order, because we have various rumors that the same people that was misleading him, they are trying to put him now to backdate decisions and bring them out. I'm a member of working committee. Any decision that is taken, I have the record, I have the minutes in my house. If he try to bring anything, backdate and bring any decision that we did not take at the working committee, it's going to be a fresh case altogether.
Well, we have to leave it at that. It's a fine place to leave it. I must sincerely thank both of you. Mr. Cletus Albon, an ally to Mr. Oshiomhole, and a chieftain of the APC, former lawmaker and a former chairman of the ACN, defunct ACN in Cross River State. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. And Mr. Mustafa Salih, who is the national vice chairman of the APC in Northeast. Thank you for joining us and talking to us tonight. But that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Oshiomhole. Bye for now.